Because he's from a different generation than me. Why are we so far apart? In age, abilities, of distance. Oh no, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to sit over there. Wait, they want to... It used to be a double act. Look, everyone having a good go? Who here is that this is their first convention? Wow. Okay, the one thing I'm going to tell you is that you will, the one thing you'll get here from great conventions like this is that you will make friends that you will know forever. So just keep coming as much as you can and you'll have a great time. You having a good time? Rather than have like moderators and the way we do all that sort of stuff, the best thing we can do is get you guys to ask us questions and then we'll be rude to you and ignore most of it. So talk about what we want to talk about anyway. And in general, that's usually the best way to end this going. So if anybody wants to ask us questions, where's our mics? Oh, there's one there. Is that it? Right, cool. So we know where to look, so they're right there. Okay. So far away, good luck, and to all that's silent.
Okay. I guess this question is for Mark. Let's just say that you're a Time Lord.
He isn't this a hard experiment?
Okay, I get it.
And, so I'm wondering what your Time Lord name would be. We have the Doctor, the Master, and...
The hottie.
Well, that leaves me out. The tickler. The what? Curmudgeon. I think that's his, not me. I don't know. You guys will have to tweet me what you think the best version of that is. We'll have a little Twitter war and that stuff. Thank you. Hey, darling.
Hi. I was wondering out of all...
Well, Hannah is your real name, is right?
Yes.
Good memory, huh?
Out of all the characters that you played on different shows, which one's your favorite?
Oh, they're all the same to me. Some of them I haven't finished yet. I mean, I hope I haven't finished yet. So, I've been really lucky. The stuff that I've enjoyed doing is the same stuff as you guys keep kind of saying that you enjoy me doing. So, you know, Supernatural just got picked up for a 10th year. I got to go back on White Collar this year. After being in the pilot, which is like the weirdest gap ever, 5 years. And it was planned, apparently it was planned. They kept going, you're going to come back. I'm like, yeah, right, I believe I'm going to see it. It was all planned out. But, I mean, I've had amazing experiences. You think of the shows that, there were shows that I liked before I was ever on them, like Battlestar, obviously. And shows that fans love, like Firefly. And of course, I was a Who fan before I was ever on Doctor Who. To be asked to be on the shows was a huge deal. But I don't know that I'm ever done with any of them unless the shows are over. And nowadays, you never know whether it's done, and you know whether it's done or finished anyway. And the fan fiction just keeps it going forever anyway. Last forever.
Okay, don't make me.
Hello, Rachel.
Hello. So,
If I could do all of you, that would be like really.
just a minute. You guys have played the younger and older versions of each other a couple of times.
Yes, 4 times. 4 times.
How does that come about? Does one of you get hired, then they go, oh, you have an older or younger version? Or do they always go into it thinking, let's hire Mark and Morgan?
Who was the funniest? It was like, so when you want to come do the prosthetics? I'm like, well, why don't you just ask my dad? I'm just being lazy. The genuine answer from them was like, would he do it? I'm like, it's Doctor Who, of course he'd do it. I didn't even ask him. I said, I think you do Doctor Who. He's like, oh, great.
And he did one for me in NCIS. He appeared and he said, just, I don't want a credit, just let me do it. And so I recognised that we owed him, no question. And so as soon as he said it, I said, of course, you're joking, I'd love to do it. It's only a few lines, it didn't matter. The problem and the joke came when I was trying to get, it's Global One, the Screen Actors Guild. It means you can't work for normally BBC wages, residuals was the problem. And they said, we're not going to allow you to do it. I'm sorry.
Well, no, what was worse is you couldn't work in Utah on a BBC production because it wasn't SAG.
Exactly.
So, because it was BBC.
So my agent said, can you get hold of anybody in SAG? I mean, I've been here, 26 years. So I rang around and finally I ended up. They said, you'll have to talk to somebody on the council. And we'll fix it for 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon and you will ring this number and you will talk. And he will ask you questions about whether he will be given permission to do Doctor Who. It's only a small one. So here I go like an idiot. I ring up at 3 o'clock and I'd go, hello, this is Mark Sheppard. And you asked me to do Doctor Who. And it's only a bit with my son. And the voice down the other end went, oh, for Christ's sake, Morton. I saw you in Mad Men 3 weeks ago. True. And God bless them, they gave it to me. True story.
Hi, first of all, I want to say...
Share this with everybody, closer to the mic.
Is this good?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. First of all, I want to say to Mark, thank you so much for being here. You're a really, really great actor, and you're held in high respect by, I think, everybody here.
Thank you.
Second of all,
You don't have to say anything after that. You go sit down now.
push me to not praise an answer, So, then I'd like to ask you both, who's your favorite doctor?
Favorite doctor? Oh, you guys know the answer to this. It's like, the weirdest thing about Doctor Who, this is the thing, there's a lot of people that are new to it. A lot of Supernatural fans ask me a lot of questions about Who. Some of them don't know a lot about Who. Now they tend to. If they go to Supernatural conventions, they don't have a choice anymore. But it was wonderful. There's a wonderful cross thing. There's sort of Super Who, now I guess the Super Who lot. We're working on it first. But, I grew up, he remembers it obviously from the beginning, but he also you remember it as something that was frowned upon and not really taken.
It was the actor's graveyard.
Oh no, it was like,
Those years.
it wasn't something one aspired to do when one was acting in the early days of Who. For the fans, it was a fabulous thing, but it was held together with string and sealing wax and bits of chewing gum, and there was no money and everything else. And there was a wonderful thing to it, but it was always treated as a thing of whimsy. And Pertwee, I remember Pertwee would probably be my really first Who. My first Doctor would be Pertwee. Who I loved. I loved the sort of, the saint as the Doctor. Sort of kung fu Pertwee. No, but it was kind of brilliant. It was kind of cool, and I was kind of into it. And I thought Daleks were cool. Cybermen scared the best out of me. Coming out from St. Paul's was like the most terrifying thing I ever remember in my life. But I think Tom Baker was truly my first real Doctor. He was like, because he made it. You got to remember, I'm 50 years old, so, and I'm not talking about the PBS years. I'm not talking about watching it here. I'm talking about watching it in England. And he changed everything for all of us. It became a thing, and everybody was into it. And he was just so special. And I think everybody that's been in it, every single Doctor is important for individual reasons and for collective reasons. I met all the living ones, and they're all wonderful in their own right. And there's reasons why we owe them all a huge debt to keeping the canon going and keeping the story going, if nothing else. But they're all individually very, very different. They're all fantastic in their own way. But I think it wasn't exactly coincidental that they called me in to do Who. They asked me to do Canton. you know, with the strangest, oddest doctor that has ever been, which is Matt. And of all of the doctors since Tom, Matt was, I think, the most special. Truly the most special, because he was so different, and he was the most polarizing. Of course, he couldn't have got there without Chris and without David and everybody else. You can't get to Matt without that. But I just listened endlessly to people going, I don't like him, I like David so much better. You go like, really? You know, it's like, I prefer the original Battlestar Galactica. It's like, yeah, you do, but you're just being contrary, you know? It's like, and you know, you've got to remember this, there's a lot of people here who have an effect on who write and are part of the universe in that way. And we have a new doctor, you know? We have a new doctor, and that's going to be my doctor. He will be my doctor. The doctor is my doctor, you know? Whatever the doctor may be, the doctor is my doctor.
They're all represented a certain generation and a certain epoch.
And a certain writer's ideal.
Absolutely.
And you know, the writers, the group of writers.
It was snobbish not to do Doctor Who when I was growing up as an actor in the 1950s and the 1950s. But nobody would ever have guessed that the show would grow and grow and grow.
Become some of the best television.
Oh my God, to what it's become. And Eccleston, and you look at some of the guys that preceded us, was wonderful actors doing the very, very best work, and the writing got better and better, and the BBC got braver and braver and braver. And so consequently, you've got this bunch now, which is, I mean, I'm so proud to be on it. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's a fantastic thing.
Oh, sure.
But you got to remember, it's the fans, including us who are fans. It's the fans that have shaped this. It's the fans that have changed it. And what it is there's no way to cheat the fans anymore. In the old days, when you only had 2 or 3 television stations, depending where you lived, right? If you had 2 or 3 or 4 television stations, and that's what was on, you didn't have a choice of counter-programming. You couldn't go, I'm not watching that, I'm waiting for this to come out on DVD. You know, it just didn't work that way. So they could get a lot over on people. They could say, this is what you're going to be watching. And therefore, the cynical versions of, I always found the original Battlestar Galactica to be such a rip-off. For fans, it wasn't originally intended to be. The canon, the story, the idea is fantastic. And it wasn't done that way, and Richard Hatch and everybody else were trying to make the best television they could. But it was such a corporately cynical event. And by the time we got to Firefly, say, we got to the end of television being run by ratings. That was one of the last shows they killed. They'd kill for the ratings that they have now. I mean, you look at Firefly, if Firefly got the ratings that it had at the time, now it would be on the air still. But the truth of the matter is that, you know, the geeks have inherited the earth. And nobody's quite sure how to monetize it. And the truth of it is we will not watch crap. We will not watch heartless, careless, unloving, uninteresting garbage. You know? It doesn't matter if it's children's shows, it doesn't matter if it's pitched to adults or children's or animation, makes no difference to us. If it's done with passion and heart, we're interested, right? And that's the gamble is for them, is to take the gamble on whether something's going to be good enough for us now. That's what the trick is, right? So, you know, we're kind of in a great winning position. If something is really good, we talk about it, we get behind it, we back it, we Kickstarter it, we do whatever it is we need to do to make it happen, right? And we're the ones that keep it on the air, and we're the ones that make it work. And I think that's the most amazing time in television, in content delivery, in performance, and all these things.
It is a golden age, isn't it?
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Breaking Bad, The Wire. I mean, my God.
You couldn't do this 20 years ago. 20 years ago, that stuff was impossible to do. I mean, if you think about it, the only stuff in England, the British film industry alternately has a renaissance, and then everybody copies the movie that had the renaissance, and it just dies. I'm not talking about Cornetto trilogy, and I'm not talking about the fun stuff that goes on that's so subversive, it's brilliant. I'm talking about, you make Lock, Stock, and then everybody makes Lock, Stock. And then all the money disappears, right? And then all the money's gone and there's nothing left. And what is left for Britain is British television. And then they make things like Cracker, and they make things, you know, odd, really odd stuff that you go, this is what the film industry's doing when they don't have the film industry. And now it's getting to the point where those great writers and those single vision creators, Moffat and those people, and Jimmy, what's his name, who did Cracker, what's his name, the Governor?
And Richard Curtis and all these dudes.
Richard Curtis started writing big films, so that took away from a lot of what he started out as. But you're looking at stuff where it's got to be good now. Now it's got to be good, and we're getting better and better and better series. Are we not?
Yes.
It's fantastic. So it's a really exciting time, isn't it? So if you're a writer, you know, like the writers that we know that are here, good God, there's so many good writers here. Just write and don't quit and get it done, and eventually you'll get it out there. Trust me, it's amazing. So you got a question, Nick? Sit down.
Obviously, as per the supernatural.
You're being followed.
No, you little thing! You little mole, you!
Obviously, being part of supernatural, there's.
You're talking to me, right?
Yeah. There are a lot.
He's not dead yet.
On the way.
Are you still with us, Father? Welcome to the Shepherd Seance. I got a terrible